So today is a very special video. It is not one of my typical videos, and first of all, I want to say thank you so much for coming to my video. My name is Nora, and today on Horrible Gaming, we are revisiting every single dream address I've created. I've honestly lost track of how many islands I've made, and I don't remember the exact number. Many of you have reached out also to me asking for dream addresses because you don't have Instagram. So this video is gonna have all my current dream addresses as of October 21st, 2021. I also want to add that I plan to redo basically all these islands, not the exact ones. These dream addresses will always stay, but the themes. I am very excited for the update that we are getting on November 5th, which means redoing basically every single island aesthetic I've ever created. Kind of overwhelming and crazy, but anyways, let's hop to it. Let's go to the first dream address that I made, which is my very first island, and it's a citycore. Go figure. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notify button to see more content like this in the future. I post new videos every single week from Animal Crossing island tours, tutorials, and more. So the first island that I created was actually a tropical island, but it doesn't have a dream address. At the time, I used to flatten my island and redo it, so technically this is my very first dream address. And this is a rustic industrial city. As you can see, there is a lot going on this island from my map. I am excited to retour this because I haven't seen the actual island in over a year. Basically, this whole entire video is going to have clips of my favorite areas from each of my island and also what I've noticed I've improved on since then, etc. And again, all the dream addresses are included in this video, but I'll have them listed in the video's description too, and also have timestamps. Unfortunately, I have no idea how many codes I've used on all these islands. Some of them got deleted by their creators, but you can find most of these already on my Instagram highlights, and highlights are the clickable circles that I label. I apologize, I will not be able to list out every single code that I've used on these islands for that reason. So here is my map, and as you can see at the time, I had a lot of favorite villagers. This is all I focused on at the time before I actually got into my YouTube channel and streaming in general. And of course, the name is Akala Isle after Pokemon, and it was for my tropical island prior. So obviously, if I was able to rename my island, it would have been Motostoke after Pokemon because that is what inspired this build. I also want to add that if I ramble or stutter on words, it's because this is going to be in one take, and we're just going to go through all of my favorite sections of the island, so this video obviously won't be forever in length, but yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know on that. And already at the entry, I noticed that I did a train station, and if you've watched my European builds, you might recognize that build, and that was inspired by this. And of course, there's my favorite villager in the whole entire world, Coco. And over here, I made it kind of like an illusion that a train was going through, and I used fish tanks in the stalls. Immediately, I've already noticed that I've improved on hiding terraform on my buildings. And this is set in winter because that was the last time I built on the island was last Christmas. So I decorated it for that season and then deleted my island after that. But yeah, so I guess the winter kind of adds to, I guess, the island in a way. I've already noticed too that I've also fixed how the dimensions look on my builds. I wish I could like climb up there. I didn't even leave us a ladder. My house is actually decorated for once on this island. It's not impressive, so I'm not going to go into it, but it's actually decorated. I think one of my favorite things about this island when I was making it was this land bridge. I really enjoyed how it looked from a distance where you could see that abandoned house over there. But something I know that was not smart to do on this island was the lag. I learned very quickly that cluttering so much content in one area is a big no-no. My island was really laggy, and you're gonna see that. It was just awful. I've also noticed that the flow of my islands have gotten better too. I've learned how to do better transitions, etc. And I wanted to also do this video to kind of like tell y'all that you're gonna improve on your islands the more you build. And yes, maybe this island is amazing to somebody else, but as a creator, I always look at all of my work with like super judgmental eyes, and I analyze every single thing that I've messed up on and failed on. And this is a lot of basically what this video is going to be on. So many people assume that as a creator and as, you know, a theme builder for Animal Crossing, everything comes easy to me. And I'm here to say basically, no. That is absolutely not true. As you can see, I've really improved on that layout. And I don't know, I've also hate how this isn't finished off. I feel like this is all too cluttered up together. So I definitely noticed that is a better transition that I've done in the future. I do like my land bridge. I feel like it still holds up till this day. I would probably recreate it again if I wanted to do another industrial like city. But yeah, I do like how this actually turned out. I remember cluttering my beaches full of trash because I am trash. I like trash bags. Trash bags give me life. Trash bags are my cottagecore. So I'm very excited about that. But we're not going to go on there because it's way too much trash. Literally, how many trash bags did I use on this? If I remember correctly, I had a friend bring me almost 6 inventory fulls of trash. So yeah, I have a trash addiction. And we're overlooking more trash. Okay, like I know I like trash bags, but I think this might be a little too much trash. All right, so let's just go ahead and go up here. I'm actually gonna go head over to the industrial part of this island. So let's go ahead and transition. All right, so we're heading over to where the industrial area was on my island, and holy lag, this is really cluttered and bad. The awful part about this layout too is there is no way to leave this. There's only one way to the spot and one way out, which is awful because imagine how my dream address visitors were when visiting this. They were just like, I can't leave and get out. I remember making this clock tower, and this was inspired by Denise ACNH on Instagram. I want to say that's the username. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they made this, and I was like super inspired by them, and I made that clock tower. And then over here with all the item lag is where the industrial plant is, and this spot took me forever. At the time, I had to literally trade and craft every single item to make this spot. This spot took so long to do. Figuring out the placement took forever. Honestly, looking at this, I don't even remember how I did it. I think I just like trialed and errored stuff until it worked, but I really wanted this to feel super rustic, super industrial. So with the update coming, I am definitely wanting to actually go into a full-on industrial Trashcore island. Let me know in the comment section if you'd be interested in seeing that theme. No idea how I'd approach it yet, but I really do want to try that aesthetic out, especially with all the items that we are getting. But I feel like this build still holds up till today. I mean, I like it. I think it's a really cool lookout. I just feel like the layout to it could have been better. My last favorite spot on this island was definitely where my Christmas Plaza area was. It was just super fun to make. I was born in December, so I am very into festive anything for Christmas. And I feel like this area still actually holds up till today. I feel like it looks good for maybe a steampunk island. So I do enjoy how the rooftop looks with the ovens backwards and then the silos used as a rooftop. So I do think this build still technically holds up till today. Anyways, if you want to visit this island, the dream address again was shown in the video. It's listed in the description. Let's go ahead and head over to my second dream address. My second island created was a desert core island inspired by Yo Friendo on Instagram, and this is Twin Leaf, the desert core island. And I am definitely going to be making some more desert themed islands in the future, especially with this update. As you can see, these are my villagers, very typical desert, except Poppy, but I thought she matched like the red tones of, you know, desert core, so I would probably change that in the future. But yeah, these were my villagers. And this island was very quick to do. Most of the island is sand, which is something I'll change in the future. I just feel like it shouldn't have been as empty. But something I do like is all the color, all of the bazaars and everything. I just think that this was a really fun island to create in general. And then this was my entrance. It's still really hard to move around in, so that is something I know I've improved on since, was how I don't really clutter to the point where I can't move around. Definitely something that I will improve in the future. And I loved how I hid all the terraform better on this island. I used a lot of really nice panels to kind of like suit the aesthetic. This island's vibe is a mixture between Arabian culture and Egyptian culture, so it is like a perfect balance between both of them. I watched a lot of Aladdin while creating this movie, and then I watched The Prince of Egypt right after, so those were like my inspirations for this. I have all of this music just spamming everywhere when I'm going through the markets, and I absolutely love that. Something I really wanted to do on this island but never had the chance to make was making the castle from Aladdin, so that is something I would probably want to recreate. Again, all of my inspiration for this definitely came from Yofrendo's beautiful desert core island, and I loved the simplicity of this spot too, with just, you know, the skull there. This was such a fun island to do, and I definitely want to remake this. So now we are going to head over to my Oasis, and again, this was inspired by Yofrendo. Hey, look, it's me! And I loved how this spot turned out. There was nothing I would have changed on it till this day. I just think it's super cozy. The purple clouds in the background. I just had a lot of fun creating this spot using all these items. Hopefully with the update coming, we will be able to place blankets outside, because this was an issue I ran into on this island theme. Was most of my design slots were blankets. So let me know in the comment section if you hope we get blankets on this update. We're now going to go head over to my top favorite spot, which was the lookout for the pyramids. So let's go ahead and walk towards there and transition. So after trying to get through this really cluttered market, it was difficult to get through. We go up these inclines to look over the pyramids, and I just really loved this spot. And once again, the purple clouds in the background, we got this little sitting spot overlooking them. I feel like this spot is still just as pretty till this day. I worked really hard on getting the blankets placed there and just all the designs in general. And again, inspired by Yofrendo's beautiful desert core, who posted the idea first on Instagram. I'm just in love still with this spot. I wouldn't change it even if I had the island still. With that being said, let's go ahead and transition to my next island. So the next island is for you natural people and cottagecore lovers. This was my first cottagecore island, and I actually really like this island till this day. It was just super happy. I loved this path. All codes, again, for all these islands will be on my Instagram as long as they aren't deleted by their creators. This island is over a year old, so I have no idea if anything is still up to date. But I loved when I did this rock garden at the entry, and I just loved all the red tones. So this is one of my favorite spots, including right here at the entry where I did this little double bridge, and then we have this little well area, and I just really loved how this island flowed at the entry only though. My next favorite spot on this island was definitely my treehouse area, and of course this is something I want to redo in the future. The ladders that we are getting on this update is going to be insane. We're going to see probably tree houses now on Instagram and everywhere. I was really excited that this build turned out though, as happy as it looks, and I honestly can't wait to just do a new treehouse style in general. I feel like the design could have improved, but I liked how my campsite actually had a spot for once instead of the beach. So this is one of my favorite spots on this island. Before we continue to my last favorite spot on this island, here is the dream address as well as all the villagers that I chose, and hopefully if you visit this island it'll give you some inspiration. I think the waterscaping turned out pretty well. The terraform looks like it was a lot of work to do. I barely remember this island, but I do remember that the terraform itself took me quite some time. Anyways, let's go ahead and go to that last spot on the island. This was my last favorite spot on the island, and again, this is my first cottagecore island, and there's a lot that I want to improve on. However, I still think the aesthetic holds up till today. I think it's very happy, and I would definitely improve on how the waterscaping looks over here, especially where the fencing is, but I feel like it still holds up theme-wise till today. Let me know what your thoughts are on the theme in the comment section below. With that being said, let's go ahead and transition to my next island. So the next island is another natural. This is Flow Aroma, and it was just a really simple forest core. I really liked this spot. I still enjoy it till this day. All the flowers makes it really happy looking. So if you are somebody having issue with flowers, maybe this will bring you some inspiration. Let me go ahead and also pull up my map so you can get the dream address if you are wanting to visit this island. These were all the villagers I chose for it, and also how my map looks. My next favorite spot on the island was still around where the flowers were, but this was this little sitting spot. It was like a little tea area overlooking the flower field, and I really enjoyed creating this spot. I thought it turned out really cute, and I wouldn't change anything about this location till this day. I would probably recreate this honestly on a cottagecore styled citycore maybe in the future. I don't really do naturals anymore, but I do like them when the time is right. This island focuses on a lot of cozy spots, especially near my villager homes. A lot of my inspiration came from QB Crossing on Instagram and YouTube. And with that being said, let's go ahead and transition to the next island that I've created. Welcome to Twin Falls, my Mountaincore island. Literally, this island is basically just a ton of terraforming and waterfalls. Some things I already know that I wanted to change about this island but never had the chance to was the layout itself and how it was very difficult to move around in. A lot of my friends when visiting the dream address got stuck in certain locations, and I just felt like that could be improved on. But I think for my terraform, this is where I started to improve on waterscaping. I struggle in general with waterscaping a lot, and this island kind of showed where I started to kind of figure out what my style was. I had a lot of trouble honestly with naturals because it's really hard to find your own style when making them. I feel like naturals a lot of times can look too much like other people's, and that was something I got really insecure about. However, I really enjoyed also creating some citycore builds inside of this, like my sawmill for Grizzly. You may recognize this from a previous YouTube video that I did when I first started my channel. And I guess my last favorite spot for this island was this bridge area, which we're gonna head over to in a second. Before we finish my last two favorite spots on Twin Falls, here is the dream address and also all the villagers that I chose for this theme. I had a lot of fun honestly making this island. I literally just used it to put my stress on, and I just terraformed my heart away. So as you can see, there is a lot going on this map, and I honestly do want to remake a traditional forest core in the future. It will be a lot different from what Twin Falls has, but I do want to make another forest around the similar, very simple forest core vibe. So I really enjoyed this spot for sure, recreating it. I tried to do like a rocky mountain pass. I would definitely want to improve this in the future. I feel like the design could have been better, but as you can see, that land bridge from my Cottagecore island reappeared on this island. I really do enjoy the style of it. I feel like it's a really nice simple version of a land bridge. The last spot I liked most was my fishing area, so we are going to go ahead and transition to that location. So here is my fishing area and little mini lake spot. I really enjoyed this area. Not only did it fill space, but it helped finish off that awkward area at the edge of my map. I decorated actually a beach for once too. This whole entire beach is meant to be like a fishing area with a fishing shack, etc. And then I finished off this location with a little campsite near the beach. So I feel like this area still holds up. I do really like it still, but again, I don't really do naturals anymore. I don't know when I'll do a natural, but I definitely know it won't be anytime soon. But let me know what your thoughts were on this natural island. With that being said, let's go transition to the next island I've curated, and it is a citycore. Here is the map to our next island, which is a Japanese city core. Welcome to Hyun City. This is my first Japanese island. You also might recognize this area from my first city core tutorial on Japanese islands. The first thing I would change is my crosswalks. I have them all backwards, and I was aware of this before I released the dream address. I'm gonna be real with y'all, I was just being lazy and I didn't want to have to redo them all, so I was like, whatever, if someone recreates this, maybe they'll fix the backwards crosswalks. So yes, obviously I have fixed that on my other Japanese islands that I've made, but for my first Japanese island, I feel like the layout and everything was pretty good. I was heavily inspired by Crossing Kokiri on Instagram, and we're also using her roads on this island too. So she is what inspired me to finally take the time and attempt a Japanese island. And ever since I've done a Japanese island, I have been obsessed with the theme, the culture, etc. I loved this area that I made for tea, and then over here we transition over to a subway. And honestly, I would normally only show you like 2 clips of the island that I like, but there was just so much about this island I appreciated because it was my first Japanese island. Over here, I tried to do a little area for my villagers. Then we have just a random building over here. I really don't know exactly what this was, but I thought for my first Japanese island, focusing on item layering was definitely something I wanted to try, and I feel like I really did accomplish that with this island. There's a lot going on. It is slightly laggy, but I do think that, again, for my first Japanese island, it wasn't too awful. My next favorite spot is this area right here. We have like a tiered apartment thing going on here, and I really liked this area. It took forever to do, but I think it flows really nicely. And then it transitions over to my school. And one thing I would change about this location is the school's placement. I don't like that it was at the edge of my map, but I tried to cover it as best as I could. And then we go over here. We got like a little bike area. And this is where my school was. And I do think this school design, still holds up. It's very similar to the school tutorials that I've done, but I tried to keep it really simple because obviously there was not a lot of space to work with, but I still think for where the location was, it turned out nicely. Oh, hey, look, it's another Nora. How funny. I didn't realize I had the same outfit on as my character for this island. I'm dead. Okay, anyways, the last spot that I really liked about this island was my perspective area of a mini village. And if you're wanting to do perspectives like this, on my channel we have a video tutorial on how you can achieve a lookout just like this right here. This is definitely still one of my favorite locations till this day. The only thing I think I would have changed about this location is how tall these trees are over here. As you can see, it's kind of difficult to see with that lookout, but I also really enjoyed how the lanterns looked and how it flowed over to more perspectives in this location. Anyways, let's go ahead and transition over to the next island I've created, which is a completely different aesthetic from this. Thank you so much again for watching. Again, let me know what you think about my islands in the comments section below. Which one was your favorite? Which ones do you plan to take inspiration from? And which ones do you hope to see me redo? Welcome to Quiet Hill, my island inspired by the Silent Hill franchise. And this is one of my favorite spots on here, my forest overlook. We got some foggy weather going on, very spooky. There's only 2 spots I want to show you on this island, mostly because these 2 spots were my favorite. And of course, we're gonna go ahead and transition to that second location. My biggest focus for this island was definitely the school. As you all know, I like building schools, and when I had the opportunity of building an abandoned one, I did not hesitate. I wanted to do a lot on this island, but I didn't have space. I don't think I'll actually redo this island ever in the future. Maybe I'll do another trashy, rustic-y tone like this, but just not the same idea. Anyways, over here is my soccer area, and I tried to keep everything very messy and abandoned. I tried to bring in little fire areas, and I just love how the fog makes it feel very spooky. This is my school's entry, and we have it blocked off. It's very rustic and abandoned, and over here is just another sitting spot. We also transition over here to another sloppy area. As you can see, I really wanted to focus on this being very sloppy and rusted over and abandoned. Next we go over here and let's go enter the school. The interior of the school was super fun to make. We go up this incline and we have this old area that could have been a spot where kids would have lunch, and it overlooks, of course, more overgrown landscape in the forest itself. This area was just super difficult and fun to make. All I did was use the cypress trees in different colors and layered them with different rocks and actual trees themselves. Then we go up this incline and we start entering the school. But before we look and explore the school more, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my map and show you the dream address and the villagers I chose for it. This island was created roughly 24 weeks ago, so it's not too old, but it is one of my older islands that I created. So this is one of the classrooms that are abandoned and overgrown. I wish we had moldy apples, so imagine that as a moldy apple that never got ate. Then we go back down this incline and we actually enter the first level of the school from here. And I tried to use rusty bricks, like the back of the school's wallpaper is ripping off, there's graffiti, and obviously the cracked tile too, very overgrown and abandoned. and I just really did like the flow of this school in general. So even if you're not doing a trashy theme, maybe the school's layout will give you inspiration for your island. Then over here is another classroom, once again abandoned, nothing's left. I imagine a lot of spooky stories being told about this school in general. Then over here is some bathrooms with rusted doors and stalls. This was one of my favorite areas to make. I know it's weird, but I had a lot of fun making little bathroom areas. So even if you're not doing a nasty theme like this, I feel like this could be a really cute addition to a school in general. Then we go up this incline, and this is the last spot of my school, and it actually overlooks the ocean, but you cannot see it. I really did like this spot. Again, I would probably put sitting areas up here if it was for a legit like nice city core. But yeah, this island was definitely super fun to make. Let me know your thoughts on my school build. Do you want to remake this for your island in a non-trashy way, or do you love the trashy island vibe? Let's go ahead and transition to my next island. Welcome to Moss Deep, my overgrown jungle core island. I am 100% remaking all of my tropical islands. I am obsessed with tropicore. It is always going to be one of my favorite aesthetics along with Japanese islands. This island was very fun to make. Tropical not only was my very first theme, it has a very special spot in my heart, but this was one of my favorite locations, my Amazon River lookout spot. I just loved how overgrown it was, how the waterscape flowed in general. This area just took forever to do. Let's go ahead and go over to my next favorite location. My next favorite part was my jungle canopy lookout, totally inspired by Mialan on Instagram, and then we have some dinosaur fossils over there, kind of just like adding to the Jurassic Park like vibe. Honestly wish we had legit like dinosaur statues that weren't fossils that we could use on our jungle core islands, but I still feel like this area turned out really lovely. I honestly would try to remake this again in the future by working on my leveling and tiers with the trees better, but I still think that this still holds up till today. I made this island during the summer, so it is rather new. It's not too old, roughly about 20 weeks old, so not that much of a time difference frame between the other island we saw. If you want to visit this jungle core island, here is the map and also the villagers I chose for the island. Let's go ahead and transition now to the next island, which is another tropical theme. So as you can see, I really enjoyed my tropical islands again during the summertime. We're going to keep this one rather short as I already have Cyanwood recorded on my channel, but this is my tropical resort island and I had a lot of fun creating this. It was definitely very summer-like. We have some water path overlapping the sand path that is just simply base game with a custom design on top of it, and I tried to keep this very beachy, very resort-like. Cyanwood features a lot of nostalgic summertime fun, including this shopping district area inspired by my friend Tropicage, and it also has a lot of really fun tropicore themed areas. Here is Cyanwood's dream address if you'd like to visit it, as well as all the villagers that I chose. One of my absolute favorite locations was this little beach club house area overlooking the ocean. I just had a lot of fun creating this spot and making use of water paths. Let me know if you've already visited this island in the comment section below. Do you want to see more tropical themes in the future? Let's go ahead and transition now to my next island. Welcome to Atlantica. This is my under the sea island. I had a lot of trouble making this island. I don't recommend this theme to anybody. It's very limiting. It was very stressful to get all of the shells placed in certain spots. I just don't recommend doing this theme in general. However, recreating spots like this on your island, especially if you're doing like a tropical theme, I think would work rather well, but I had to basically search for a very specific time for my DA to be set in. I chose very stormy, rainy, cloudy weather, basically to the point where it's not raining but misty, so it felt like the island was indeed underwater. This is definitely one of my favorite spots. I just loved using the sunken ship style. I used fish tanks on stalls to make it look like fish were swimming inside the boat. Just had a lot of fun making this spot in general. Before we transition over to my next favorite spot on this island, here is a closer look to my sunken ship. This is a really easy build to do, so if you're wanting to recreate something like this on your island, I already have a video on my channel and tutorial on how to build this. To capture the vibe like this was under the ocean, I used a lot of different items to manipulate how coral reefs look. I used bamboo to manipulate seaweed, and I used a crud ton of shell furniture and models. Over here is actually where my favorite spot is, and this is my Mermaid Castle. This castle took a lot of brainstorming and trial and error. We're using a crud ton of shell items, mermaid furniture, frozen items, wedding furniture, etc. to capture the illusion that this is a ginormous castle. I felt like if I was going to make an under the sea vibed island, it needed something for mermaids. So this was kind of like my little Easter egg for the Little Mermaid in general. Anyways, that was my island Atlantica. If you want to visit the island, the dream address was shown, and I'll go ahead and pull up the map one more time in case I forgot to do that, because honestly I can't remember if I actually showed y'all the map or not. So let's just pull it up again to be safe. Here is the map and all the villagers that I chose, and now we're gonna go ahead and transition to my next island, which is an old western town. Welcome to Armadillo, my old western town. I had a lot of fun making this island. It was completely inspired by Red Dead Redemption. There is a lot I want to change about this island, especially after seeing the direct. Desert core is very limited as is, so I had to use a ton of different plants, half-grown bamboo, chopped down trees to try to achieve some sort of desert core aesthetic. And obviously after seeing the direct and seeing we have now cactus plants, I obviously want to redo this whole entire island. I feel like anybody who has a desert core island is going to want to redo it. However, at the time I felt like this spot turned out rather lovely. It was a super fun theme to make and I really enjoyed it. This island features old western styled buildings in the citycore style and also has a lot of natural style to it as well. Also, oh my gosh, why is Coco always trying to be on camera? I just love her so much. Anyways, if you want to visit Armadillo, let's go ahead and pull up that dream address. Here is the dream address to Armadillo and also all the villagers that I chose for the theme. Anyways, let's go ahead and transition to the next island, which is another Japanese island. This is my second Japanese island that I created. Welcome to Yoshino, my second Japanese core island. So there is a lot I want to change about this island. I do want to remake, obviously, another cherry blossom city. Japanese islands are always going to be part of my content and always going to be my favorite aesthetic. So I am definitely going to be remaking this. I'm obviously going to only do a couple of clips from this island since this island was already featured on my YouTube channel. So if you do want to go check out the full tour, I do have that video up, but also I'll have the dream address too provided in this video. My top favorite location on this island is Pico's palace, and yes, Pico is a Chinese villager, but I really just love Pico so much, so I had to make her own palace area. So this is a little tea area that I have overlooking a zen spot, and then let's go ahead and go closer to her palace. So obviously you can tell that Pico is one of my favorite villagers because she has the best house on the island, and honestly I feel like all of my favorite villagers do get the best spots on the islands that I create. Do you do the same on your islands? Let me know in the comment section below. But yes, Pico had her own palace area and she obviously really deserves it. If you want to learn how I built this, I actually just did a video on it, but a more simplified version, so you should definitely go check out that video if you're wanting to learn how to incorporate villagers into builds like this. Here is the dream address to Yoshino if you want to go visit the island. With that being said, let's go ahead and transition to the next theme that I've done. Welcome to Snow Point, my winter Mountaincore city. So we have already actually seen this island on my channel, so I'm gonna keep it pretty short with this one. I made this island in 3 days after I had a major oral surgery done, so I didn't get to play Animal Crossing for several days because of it. So once I was able to play, I just totally grind this island. There's a lot of layout issues in my opinion with this, and a lot of things I wish I could have done, but I couldn't fit it due to the type of build space that I had. But anyways, I'll go ahead and show y'all what I enjoyed most on this island. I really enjoyed creating this illusion that this is a giant mountain overlooking in the distance, and I just really had a lot of fun creating this spot in general. All I did to create this was use various stone items, lots of trees and shrubs, and also made use of standee items. Then over here, I made little spots for ice fishing, and as you can see, Marshall is enjoying the snowy weather. He is such a sweetheart. I just had a lot of fun making this island in general, but I don't think I'll ever remake the theme actually in the future too. Anyways, let's go ahead and now transition to another island. Yes, another island. Y'all, I have made so many islands. This video has took me several hours to make. I forgot how many islands I made. It is insane how many islands I have created since the release of Animal Crossing. My next island is once again another Japanese theme. I had a lot of fun making this island. It has kind of a sort of rural village aspect to it. There's a lot about it I want to change and remake, but I made the main focus of this island once again a school. This school is ginormous, so I am definitely gonna like showcase it for a brief second, but it's the same school actually that we did on a school tutorial video that I have on my channel. So if you want to learn how to build it, definitely go check that video out. One of my favorite spots on this island is definitely my entry. I tried to keep it very simple with a very cozy village aspect to it. And let's go ahead and now transition to the next favorite part of my island. This school was super fun to make. It is very laggy, which is a huge negative part to it, and why I am continuously remaking schools to try to find an ideal layout that doesn't lag a lot. But I did enjoy making that little village in the distance from the classroom, and again, if you want to check out how to build this school, definitely go over to my video section tab, and we have 2 videos on how you can build a school on your island. With that being said, let's go ahead and transition to the last island for today's video. This video was definitely a lot longer than most of my videos are. I forgot how many islands that I've made, but now it is finally documented. So many of y'all have been asking me for dream addresses because you don't have Instagram, you don't have a way to get these dream addresses. Now I finally have all of my dream addresses added to my YouTube channel, and I really do hope y'all enjoy visiting these islands, going down memory lane with me as well, and I hope it brings inspiration to your island. I hope that y'all do these ideas better than me. That is the goal for this video. Please remake a lot of these themes for me and do a better job for me, because there is so many things I wish I could have changed about each island, and honestly I just really hope it does bring inspiration to those who need it. Welcome to Rustboro, my fall citycore island. I created this island about 3 weeks ago, so here's the dream address and my villagers. There's a lot about this island that I wish I could redo, but there's a lot that I do like. First of all, I love this island because I'm using Colin Crossing's beautiful fall roads. Everybody is using them right now because they are in style. I also really loved how this area turned out. I'm gonna be real with y'all, I got very burnt out on this theme quickly, mostly because it has some European style to it, and I just personally really struggle with European core islands. I made this really cozy boardwalk area, and as you can see, I've used a ton of codes by Tropicitch. We use our codes a lot on my channel, and it's because they are just absolutely beautiful. But anyways, I think one of my favorite spots would be probably the grocery store here. I had a lot of fun making it, and I just really loved using all the pumpkin decor, etc. And this is right near that transition area by Plaza, but I'm gonna go ahead and head over to my next favorite spot on this island. One of my favorite spots would definitely be this location on this island, mostly because many of you know I struggle with adding water to citycore. I don't know why I struggle so much with it, but it's just super difficult for me to incorporate that onto citycore islands, and I just thought this area turned out pretty cute. I love that it has a cozy fall vibe to it. It feels very European, etc. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching it, and also let me know which island you hope to visit in the comment section below. Which one are you going to take inspiration from? Which one was your favorite? And also let me know future themes you would love to see me create. With that being said, thanks again for hanging out with me today on my video, coming down memory lane with me, and I sure hope y'all have a horrible day. Thank you so much for watching.